Cyberpunk 2077 is literally just 3 days away. I seriously can't believe it. If you preload it, you have 2 days to wait. Technically, we're going to be able to play it on the 9th, but either way, there are still a lot of things that most fans don't even know about it, even if they are longtime viewers of all the Night City wires, all the new content that's being revealed by CDPR. Some things, no matter how hard we fans try, they still fly under our radar, but that's okay because this video is going to encompass everything you need to know about Cyberpunk 2077 before you play. And really quick, I just want to say thank you so much for all the support lately on the Cyberpunk 2077 content. I changed games and I was super nervous, but you guys have welcomed me in with open arms and I can't thank you enough. Cyberpunk fanatics, new visitors, returning viewers, if you guys have not already and you want to subscribe, that would be awesome because that way you're not going to miss out on any future content and you'll be a part of the Fiasco family going into Cyberpunk 2077. All right, number one comes off as super obvious at first, but there's a lot more detail to it than you think, but that is Cyberpunk is not for kids. And I'm not even talking GTA, not for kids. I'm saying a step up from that. I'm talking blood and gore, intense violence, nudity, strong language, strong sexual content, use of drugs and alcohol, and more than that even probably. This game goes really far with adult themes. It pushes things so far that I would not be surprised, quite frankly, if there was an update after launch when things started getting revealed that nerfed some of these adult themes and censored things more than they already have to be, because it's just so edgy. There was a guy, for example, in an IGN call. He worked for IGN. He was doing a gameplay preview for his fellow coworkers, and he had a side quest to meet up with some chick at a motel. He didn't think anything of it. He went to the motel, and as soon as he went inside the front door, it literally triggered a sex scene, and he couldn't back out of it. He had to sit there awkwardly watching this sex scene in a hotel room in front of his coworkers. I can't imagine how awkward that was. With that said, it could have potentially been avoided or a little less awkward because there is a nudity filter that you can turn on to where you don't see any nudity directly in game. Either way though, if this is not your taste, I gotta say, it's going to be hard to dodge some of this content and this adult theme stuff, so just be mindful of that when you go into this game. Number two, we've got style and what it means for you as a player alongside customization. In Cyberpunk 2077, what you wear and how you represent yourself is actually going to affect gameplay more than ever before in a video game. As CDPR mentions over and over again throughout certain portions of gameplay and other previews of Cyberpunk, your appearance means everything. You can't just carelessly wear whatever you want and mismatch things or walk around naked without a shirt on, for example, because it will affect things in the game and the way it plays out for you and your character in Night City. Aside from what's on the surface with your drip and your fashion sense, your actual customization matters too with how you end up creating your character. For the first time ever in a game this mainstream, you will decide your character's sex based on what type of voice you choose, masculine or feminine. In the creator menu, it says this is how everyone in the cyberpunk world of Night City and everywhere else, Badlands included, will refer to you as, whether it's her or him in game. So you could create what looks like a female character and select the masculine voice and you will be referred to as a him. You can also choose whichever genitalia you want, whether you're a female appearance character or a male appearance character. To avoid demonetization, that's a male looking character with a V or a female looking character with a D. You get what I'm saying. Next up, number four is crazy though, because as much time as you want to spend on the character creator getting your character, your V, your mercenary for Night City looking perfect exactly the way you want, Cyberpunk is locked to first person and there are no cutscenes in game aside from first person view. So you may not see V as much as you would like to, but don't worry, I've got some things to reassure you here in a second. But first person in this game means a whole new level of immersion and storytelling that we fans are going to get to experience in gaming. Seriously though, I feel like a lot of fans are potentially not going to get this game because it is locked to first person. But I gotta say, to those people and to you if you think the same thing, give it a chance first, because you watching someone else having an experience in first person, it's their experience. You're not sharing it exactly directly with them because they're doing things you wouldn't necessarily do. Whereas when it's you in first person, it's going to be your experience catered to you and how you play. Your decisions, your reactions, your choices, everything is going to be you. If you're worried about seeing all the effort you put into customizing your character and creating yourself or whatever you want to create, you really don't need to worry all that much, because throughout Night City, there are plenty of moments where you will see reflections of your character V in all its glory. Mirrors, a third person perspective on vehicles, water, windows, and Night City when the lights lights are bouncing off and reflecting things, you still will see your character. And also, even better, you have access to photo mode. At any given time in Night City during free roam, I'm not sure if you can do it during missions, but you will be able to access what's called photo mode in Cyberpunk 2077. There are some other games out there that have this feature as well, so you're probably a little familiar with it, but if not, no worries. It's simply a mode that pauses the game during a certain moment, and then you move around the scene with a camera to take a screenshot of your character, or just see your character and how they look in that moment. I know the majority of you have heard of the life paths in Cyberpunk, but you'd be surprised at how many people here probably haven't. With that said, if you haven't, listen up, because this is a big thing you need to be aware of and know about, but I'll keep it short and brief for those of you that do know. Life paths really do affect your gameplay, and overall, they are going to affect your story a ton. Essentially, you got 3 story modes here. Listen up and decide which one best suits you, because you will have to make a choice when you start your playthrough in Cyberpunk. Nomads are part of a clan, a family of sorts, that roam the Badlands deserts around Night City. They value their family above anything, but for one reason or another, V left that family behind. Nomads are basically badasses with crazy grit, and they don't need much, and they value family over everything else, and no money can buy their morals and love of freedom. In your playthrough though, as a nomad, you will start out in the Badlands, and you won't have direct access to Night City right away, which is why you might want to consider Street Kid or Corpo. Street Kids have lived most of their lives in Night City. They know the streets, the gangs, the slang, and generally what's going on in the lower life aspects of the city. For example, as a street kid, you're probably going to know your way around more than a nomad would, or even a corpo, since they're snobby and they spend all their life up in the skyscrapers and the high rises. Street kids are going to have an overall grasp on things more than other characters, but I'm sure they have their cons as well, like being viewed as nothing but a street kid punk. Things like nice cars, nice clothes, and big amounts of credits to buy whatever you want are going to be hard to come across for nomads and street kids, but corpos, they're a little spoon-fed and spoiled, and they can get access to a lot of things the other life paths can't. While that stuff is nice, the thing that sucks is once you're a corpo, you don't really leave the corporation. They kind of own you and own your soul and know all the secrets about you. So while the corpo life path does have its pros and benefits with getting extra credits early on and access to fancier things, the big conflict is you don't really have your freedom, and you're never free of Arasaka's bidding. So aside from the big life path decision you make early on, you will be able to influence your story, so don't stress on it too much, but character builds and ways to attack gameplay is next for discussion. I just wanted to briefly talk about this because there are so many different web trees of skills and different perks we can use in this game from what we've seen on Night City Wire. The limits on how far you can push the customization of your character build, whether it's a hacker, stealth netrunner, charismatic silver-tongued devil, and the overall attack you can take on any gameplay mission, it seems limitless. For real, you can almost do anything you can imagine based on what skills you choose and the way you build your character. However you ultimately decide to do it is on you, but just know there is going to be a lot of options, so it might be a little easy to get overwhelmed. And speaking of making decisions, this is an RPG after all. Just like Fallout, just like Skyrim, you guys are going to choose what happens in this game and how the story plays out. And that to me is the perfect closer to what you need to know about Cyberpunk 2077 before you play. No two people out there in the world playing this game, including you and your friends, are going to have the same experience, because no one has the same mind and is going to make the same decisions throughout the game. Sure, sometimes your paths might align for the main story to proceed correctly, but either way, the journey that gets you there is not going to be the same across the board for anyone. So adult themes, customization, style, first person only, photo mode to counteract that, life paths, character builds, all that good stuff with gameplay and how you can attack it, the RPG aesthetic where you can make decisions with every single branching dialogue, Night City and the world. I think the biggest thing you need to know is that Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be, for lack of a better word, breathtaking. If you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure and leave a like rating down below to show your support to the channel and also your hype for Cyberpunk 2077. I cannot wait to get my hands on this beautiful damn game. I've seen so many leaks. I'm getting impatient. I'm so stoked. I love creating content on it for you guys. Overall, I just feel good. I hope you learned something new, and if you didn't, I hope you at least got to enjoy kicking it with me, talking about this game we all love and we're stoked for. I hope to see you all in the next one. Later.